David Samson joins us every week. He is the former president of the Marlins. He hosts a podcast, Nothing Personal. You can check it out every day wherever you get your podcast, on the DraftKings Network as well. Good morning to you, David.
Good morning, Stu. Good to see you in that chair.
Oh, thank you, Dave. It's good to see you in a weird room with – where are you?
I am in Stamford, Connecticut, doing pre- and post-game work for CBS Sports for the playoffs.
Okay.
So I am doing late nights and early mornings and loving it.
Is anything going to stop the Phillies? First off, I want to blast the Philly fans because, David, I am tired of everyone making a big deal about Philly fans. Do me a favor. Every stadium, when your team makes it to a championship round, okay, every stadium is standing. Every stadium is loud. Philly fans, give me a break. You want to see the Philly fans? Go to a game on a Wednesday afternoon against the Milwaukee Brewers and tell me how loud they are. I'm tired of it, David.
I have a stat of the day on the Phillies if you would like it right off the top.
Huh?
Start of the day, start of the day. It is your start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day. It is your start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day. It is your start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day.
Too many.
It is your start of the day.
Today's stat of the day is brought to you by Venmo. Your money, your move.
With his 2 home runs yesterday, Kyle Schwarber now has 18 career postseason home runs, tying him with Reggie Jackson for the most ever by a left-handed hitter.
My goodness.
Schwarbs.
How about this? That's a great stat. How about a second stat about Kyle Schwarber? He now has the most home runs for any leadoff position player in postseason history.
Huh.
He passed Derek Jeter and Jimmy Rollins. Is that crazy?
It is
Kyle
crazy.
Schwarber, a
Yes.
leadoff hitter.
Well, yeah, he shouldn't be a leadoff hitter.
Well, he should. In today's baseball, he should, right?
It's not about average anymore. It's not even about getting on base. It's just about the ability to get into one, and that's what Schwarber does. The Phillies are just unstoppable. And the thing about the Phillies right now is it's their pitching as much as it is their hitting.
Right.
Their bullpen and their starters are just superb. You can't score against them, and you can't stop their offense. And as for Philly fans, I can't stand them. And I'm sorry, we're on a national show.
I don't care.
shouldn't say it. But as a guy who was in the NL East for 18 years, it is absolutely ridiculous. What Merrill Kelly did, he shouldn't have done. Don't poke the bear by saying it's louder at Marlins Park. I get that. But let me tell you, in Philly, there were years when they were not in the playoffs, and it's quiet, and they're grumpy, and they're rude, and it's empty. And now all of a sudden it's a bunch of front runners who are going crazy and cheering. They're not even in the top 5 fan bases in all of baseball.
Wow.
I mean, well, they are right now. Isn't that all that matters?
If you're talking right now, there's
They
only
seem fired up, David. I kind of like it.
If you're talking now, though, they're the best fan base in any sport. I mean,
right.
Why are you criticizing a fan base?
No, I'm not criticizing the fan. Well, actually, allow me to criticize the Philadelphia fan base. They're not very nice.
Yeah.
And I don't mean all of them, but I mean a lot of them. Our players would come into the clubhouse and they would tell me things that were being said to them when they were out in left field that would sometimes remind them of being out at Fenway Park in left field, and you know what I'm talking about. They can be very difficult in Philadelphia. Now, they do have the best cheesesteak in the clubhouse. It's one of my favorite visiting clubhouses of all time. But in terms of the fan base, I was attacked in elevators several times by people going up to yes.
What do you mean attacked?
In front of my
Physically
child.
or verbally?
In front of your child?
No.
Never physically.
okay.
Never physically.
What'd they tell you?
Basically, I would never wear my badge in Philadelphia. In other places, I would because you're supposed to, but I wouldn't want anyone to know who I was. And I'm in an elevator, and I'm with my son, and I was also with the traveling secretary. His name is Manny. And I was basically told that I am the world's worst human and the worst ineffective president, and my team stinks, and the Marlins stink, and how dare you? What kind of person are you? And my response in front of my son, I didn't know exactly what to do. I just said, "Hi, nice to meet you." And that was the best I could think of to do. And it was silly. Most people want a picture or an autograph, or they're not willing to do anything but be cyber bullies. But in Philadelphia, they're willing to be bullies.
Huh.
Can you put together a top 5 fan bases in Major League Baseball off the top of your head, or do you
Easily.
You can do it right now.
Easily.
Okay, go ahead. I want to hear
Number
this.
one.
Yes.
I guess we'll start at the bottom.
Okay.
Number 5.
Yep.
Milwaukee Brewers.
Okay.
Outstanding, no matter what, thick or thin, it's Milwaukee.
Okay.
Number 4, Chicago Cubs.
Nice.
A
Jesse's
wonderful
team.
fan base.
Yep. Smetty's
I
team.
mean, you have to love them. They're so good.
Yes.
Even when they're bad, they're good. And
They're
I love
better
it.
when they're bad. That's the beautiful thing about the Cubs fan base.
No,
they
it's
like
true. The bleachers, when they're bad, are
Yes.
still a great time.
Right. They like to be the story when they're bad, and they are. Yes.
I worried about them once they won the World Series because there's something about never having won it for that 100 years that I worried after they won it in 16 would all of a sudden it not be cool to be at Wrigley, but it still is amazingly cool and the fan base is still amazing.
And the fan
So I
base
have them.
was able to make itself miserable again by convincing themselves that they should have won more than one World Series in that run, which isn't necessarily untrue, but now they're back to feeling like, in a lot of ways, like, back to being the Cubs again. So the identity hasn't changed too much, despite breaking the curse.
It's only been 7 years, and people are already despondent, saying they don't win enough.
The end of this season, I think, did a lot for Cubs fans, but there were a couple of years after they traded the core 2 years ago. David, I think everyone was a pretty sour mood in Chicago. I'm not saying it's like rational. Being a fan is not rational, David. I'm not justifying this behavior, but I am saying that, like, Cubs fans, it's like, yeah, we won the World Series, but now we can go back to being like, oh, man, we can't catch a break.
I thought Bartman ruined it for Cubs fans. No? I just wanted to say
People
Bartman.
don't really know who Bartman is anymore. It's the 20-year anniversary of Bartman. It just happened a couple days ago. And I was wondering what became of him and whether or not he has like a voodoo doll of Alex Gonzalez, and I mean the Cubs shortstop, because it was really his fault and not Bartman's fault.
But you're saying young people have no idea who Bartman is.
I would think that's correct.
Okay. It's fair.
I blame Moises Alou.
Really?
Overreacting drama queen.
Wow, drama queen.
Did overreact. He told me directly he couldn't have caught the ball, but then in the media he likes to say, oh, no, I would have had it. He knows he wouldn't have had that. It's ridiculous.
All right, number 3.
The number 3 fan base, and I'm holding my nose, but it is true.
Oh, boy.
It's the Yankees.
Okay.
And the reason why the Yankees are number 3 is the outrageous prices that are paid at all levels of seats for the fact that they're supposed to win the World Series every year, and they haven't since 2009.
Right.
And yet they still draw. They only make it up a little bit. They're still drawing in the 30s and 40s. That's a damn good fan base.
I like that one. Can you do it again, though, while holding your nose? Like, is that possible? Do you mind doing it? I want to hear what it sounds like, okay? Number 3.
The New York Yankees.
Thank you.
I grant you that it's Yankee Stadium, and I grant you that it's fun to be a Yankee fan because you've won more than you've lost.
Right.
You are a good fan base because the team hasn't done much winning, and you're still coming to games.
That's fair. Number 2.
This one, you will not guess it even if you begged me. The second best fan base, Los Angeles Dodgers.
Really?
Yep. So they've got the worst reputation. They come late and they fight. It's bad in the parking lot. But guess what? The Dodgers over the years, since they moved from Brooklyn, they have the most loyal, dedicated fan base, second in all of baseball, in my opinion. They come to games always by the scores of thousands. And they've had a team with smart leadership that's done more than its share of winning. And I respect it. I love people who leave early when the team isn't winning. I love people who come late because they're in L.A. doing cooler stuff. I'm good with it. They're the number 2.
It honestly sounds, David, like you're describing the Miami Heat fan base in the NBA. Like a truly, truly, truly passionate fan base, but the reputation doesn't necessarily reflect it because Miami and all of these other things.
It always bothered me that people viewed the Heat fans as not good, and I was in Miami for so many years. And yeah, have you ever looked at a Heat game like with 10 minutes left in the third quarter? It looks like there's nobody there because they're all doing their halftime stuff.
Yep.
Well,
I'm good with it.
You want to define what that stuff is?
If you've been in the bunker suites, you know exactly what that stuff is.
It's cocaine. Number 1.
Marlins.
The greatest fan base in all of baseball, and it's not even close. The St. Louis Cardinals.
Universal
say
agreement.
Miami.
Universal agreement in here. Just, yep.
Really?
That fits.
I don't know how I feel about the Cardinal fan base.
I've been to a game there years ago, and they're really nice. Yeah. It's just
from the standpoint, I feel like they're looking down at us. Like they feel like they know more about baseball than we do.
Because they do.
Right.
Oh, please.
There's like a whole best fans in baseball meme account making fun of Cardinals fans for being actually the worst fans of baseball.
Wow.
David is shocked.
You mean the least knowledgeable or the least loyal?
Least knowledgeable, like the meanest. Yeah, you guys have never heard of this? Yes, St. Louis.
No.
I've been to a lot of games at Busch, and I have never had an issue. Our players have never had an issue, and I don't view people in St. Louis as mean at all. That is surprising to hear. I don't see fights in the stands. We don't worry.
You okay there?
Sorry, he gets emotional.
That's
talking
all right.
about
My best friend is from St. Louis.
He loves St. Louis.
She's so mean.
Loves the Cardinals. That's a fine.
Wait, you have a
What an
best
Emily.
friend from St. Louis who's mean?
She's so mean.
Is her
Really?
name Emily?
And why is she your best friend?
Yeah.
She's my best friend.
Yeah. Is she mean to you or mean to others?
Everyone.
Oh, okay.
Love her, though.
Yeah,
Really?
I get it.
But she's mean to you.
Yeah,
I think you can love someone who's mean, but do you try to make her less mean?
sometimes. Doesn't work.
Huh.
This isn't Emily, is it?
No.
You can't love Emily. So I can't.
You're not allowed to?
No.
Do you think you're going to change her?
I don't want to.
Okay.
She's my best friend.
I like that, I guess.
There's a reason.
Does she have redeeming qualities?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you just put up
Does
with the
she
meanness.
think you're mean?
Ooh.
Yes.
Okay, well,
So you're the mean girls.
wow.
All right.
Oh.
Well, if you're mean and she's mean, and you both know that each other is mean, doesn't that exactly define what mean girls means?
Do you have a burn book?
I was kind of doing a thing here, and there's been a lot of follow-up
Yeah, it's like-
questions.
it really
which is
has.
We're just curious.
Pretty
you know?
par for the course when David's on, I think, and now I'm like, I don't even know if I should answer truthfully or not. I don't know.
David, because he's played so well in this postseason, has Bryce Harper become the face of baseball?
I don't think there is a face of baseball. So everyone tries. It's supposed to be Trout. He didn't want it. And then can it be Ohtani? He's got those New Balance commercials that if you're watching, they're on every commercial break, it seems. So that would be a good opportunity. But no, they tried with Jazz. But in order to be the face of baseball, you have to be better, and you have to be in the postseason, which the Marlins were able to accomplish this year. So he's in position next year. If he does better and the Marlins continue to improve, he could be the face. He's a great representation of what baseball wants to be, young, hip, and cool. Bryce Harper he likes commercials. He likes winning. He is turned into a leader. There's no question about it. But I believe he's too old to be the face. They want somebody with a 2-handle, not a 3-handle.
Well, I mean, wouldn't the face of baseball kind of just present themselves? Like, if it's baseball deciding who it is, they're never going to catch on, right? Like, you can't make fetch happen.
You can't make viral happen, but you certainly do. You think Jazz was put on the cover of MLB The Show just by happenstance because he was free on Wednesday at 2 o'clock to do the photo shoot? It was a purposeful choice by baseball.
That was weird, I think, how baseball fans there was a kind of like a pocket of baseball fans that rejected Jazz as being the cover of the show because they decided he wasn't good enough. And really, they just wanted their player to be on the show. And I thought that was strange.
I think that what they were concerned about is that he was being anointed as this leader, and he had not yet shown that he can either A, stay on the field, or B, perform on the field in a way that would merit being in a commercial with Jeter and on the cover of the show. And the thought was, is it too much too soon, and it's going to actually impact whether he's going to be good, which is something you have to talk about with Jazz. You got to do it on the field if you're going to maintain sort of his persona. Otherwise, it just gets old.
But Peyton Hillis was once the cover of Madden, so.
He was. Yeah.
I want to make the argument for Mike Trout. Not only, obviously, a top player in the league, but he also looks the most like a baseball. Like, look at his, think of Mike Trout's face.
He does.
If you had to pick a baseball
Very
player that
round, you're
looks
right, yeah.
like a baseball, it's Mike Trout.
That
He's
is the face of baseball.
face of baseball. David, your thoughts?
Under that theory, could there ever be a face of basketball? Who's orange?
Trump?
Seems like a dangerous game.
That's who would be.
Donald Trump, face of
There's
basketball.
one person.
Can you imagine if they anointed Donald Trump the face of the NBA?
That would go well.
Because the only criteria is you had to match the color of the ball.
Right. He would love that.
I think baseball's trying to do the opposite, actually.
Yes. Trevor May, David, I found this to be fascinating. The former A's manager ripped the A's, ripped everyone. Is he going to get a job again in Major League Baseball?
So he was in the bullpen. If you're a Mets fan, you're familiar with him. He's sort of mediocre, but he had a career, and he went scorched earth. Nothing personal this morning. I just played some of the tape. I don't know if you have the tape. He went a little nutty on John Fisher, talking about the fact that he's a Nepo baby. I mean, he would have fit in great with this crew, and how he did nothing. He's done nothing. He doesn't even have the guts to be front-facing and tell us what he wants to do. And my reaction was, I get what May is saying, but you really don't want to do that if you have any interest in being involved in baseball. Because he went after owners. His only possible job now is with the Players Union. Or he can do an independent podcast, but he doesn't have the credibility to be a podcaster because he didn't do enough research before going on this rant. And the fact about what John Fisher does, and I'm against the A's moving. I'm not even sure they're going to move. But I'm not against owners who don't talk to the media, because very few of them do. And that's what Trevor May was complaining about, saying what a wussy that he won't own what he's doing. And I did disagree with that.
Stugotz was real close. Trevor May, not the manager of the A's, a relief pitcher.
Thank you.
Really close.
I said bullpen. But Jeremy, I tried
Thank
to
you for the
past it.
correction, David. I know you really tried to kind of help contextualize that there, but it
not
had to be
hard
said.
enough. Just throw it right back in my face next time, David. What are you doing?
Well, no, you're in the number one chair right now. I'm
So
trying
what?
to make you look good.
Right.
I don't want to point out when you're making mistakes because you're not prepared.
I don't care about looking good. I made a mistake. Make fun of me.
No,
what are we
you
doing?
talk around it. Yeah.
Okay.
Stu was just really trying to see if David was prepared.
Exactly.
If you
That's
say
what
it,
it
see
Making
how-
sure he's on his toes,
exactly.
right?
There's one thing I've learned from you, Stu, and that is always to be prepared no matter how little you prepare.
Do you have an update for the Marlins on us? What has happened since the last time we spoke earlier this week?
So there's just been a little bit of news, as in their GM is gone, and they are in the market for a president of baseball operations. And I have gotten a bit of attention, and I wanted to talk to you all about this. People are a little upset that I was willing to say that it's possible that the Marlins could be better off without Kim, and that they need a true president of baseball operations, whether it's a male, female, or whoever it is, but that is not Kim's strength. And that the problem is when you brought her in, it was Derek Jeter running the show and not Kim. And people in the industry just know that. And people are telling me, well, just keep that to yourself. Don't let people know what the truth is about that. And I say, screw that. I want you to know what the truth is. The Marlins made the right move. If you're a Marlins fan and you want to win and continue winning, you need someone running the baseball side that's not Jeter, and it was never going to be Kim.
Well, can it be true that she may have not been prepared at the time, but she'd done enough to earn a chance, an opportunity to have that role?
Except you have to ask yourself what it is that she actually did. And this is not sullying Kim. I think it's outstanding. I think anybody should have that job who can do that job, who is the ability and gets a chance to do it and then does it. But it is a job that requires you have to have great management skills, and you are running a big business. The baseball side of an organization is the biggest business part of the baseball team, the most budget. And then on top of that, you have to know who to listen to and who not to. It's not that president of baseball ops are big evaluators themselves. It's that they know who is evaluating and who you listen to and who you don't. And I think what Bruce Sherman is trying to do is find someone who has done it. So I don't think you're going to see a first-time president of baseball operations. I don't think you're going to see an internal promotion. I think you're going to see him bring someone in who is the anti-Jeter, someone who can actually do the job and help the Marlins be where Bruce wants them to be, which is a consistent winner.
Have you submitted your resume?
No, that's another misconception. I was never the president of baseball operations. I was the president of the team, so the baseball department reported to me. No, I'm not qualified to be the president of baseball operations, only the president.
If left to you, who would you hire?
I would bring back Mike Hill.
Really? Why?
Mike Hill was let go by Jeter with Bruce Sherman having no knowledge of that. Mike Hill is tremendous at surrounding himself with people who know what they're doing and knowing who to listen to and who not to listen to. Mike Hill did not have the opportunity under Jeter that he should have, only because Jeter was making all the decisions, running that team from the baseball side. And I think that Mike Hill has no ramp-up time. He's familiar with the organization. The question is, he's doing so well at Major League Baseball, does he want to get back into the game in that way? But I think if he does, he'll have the opportunity.
Well, did he not have an opportunity under Jeffrey also?
So, yes, he was our president of baseball operations, and Jeffrey was involved in a way that many owners are involved. And there was some things going on in our organization where the power was not necessarily with Mike.
David, what movie? We have about 4 minutes here, so hopefully I've left you enough time to review a movie for us. What movie are you reviewing?
I hope someone there in that room. Have you watched the Beckham documentary?
I have not. My wife has. She loves it.
So I didn't realize any of this. So there's a new documentary in 4 parts, and I knew that he was married to Victoria Posh Spice or something. I didn't realize or remember what had happened to him with the red card in the World Cup. I didn't realize and remember that he had been vilified by fans in London. I had not remembered that he had gone to Real Madrid. All of that was news to me. I learned so much about Beckham. The only thing that bothered me about this documentary is, as a person who loves Miami so much, it was like 2 minutes of the entire documentary was his Miami part. And it really pissed me off because it didn't even go into the great business deal he made to get the $25 million option to have the expansion team. It didn't go into the struggle to get the team into Miami. It didn't go into how they got messy. All the things that I thought they could have done, they didn't. And that's the only negative of the documentary.
Did you learn anything about him that you didn't know before you started watching the movie?
Everything.
Really?
I had no idea how mean his father was. I didn't realize what it was like with him and Posh or Victoria, how he would leave the team and drive hours to spend 5 minutes with her.
Did he come off as likable to you? Do you like him?
Very. And I dealt with him when we were trying to build a soccer stadium next to Marlins Park.
Right.
And we were trying to get Miami to do that. Inter Miami at the time, or it wasn't even Inter Miami. We were trying to do a deal with MLS. And we wanted Beckham as part of the deal to be not just involved in what was on the pitch, but involved in the community and marketing. And his interest was only in the colors of the franchise and the clubhouse and the type of pitch it was and the players on the pitch. He wouldn't do any of the other things that we wanted, so a deal never happened. So my experience with him was not necessarily positive. And after this documentary, I said, wow, I wish I'd been able to spend a little more time with him because I didn't realize his past and the way his father drove him and how difficult it was for him to deal with all of the fame and the attention and how he was able to overcome all of it. So this documentary really did change my view.
David, Shane Beamer just broke his foot after blowing a 10-point lead against Florida. Do you have an example of a player after a game or a coach getting mad and injuring themselves after a game?
The only one I can think of is our closer, A.J. Ramos, who broke his hand by hitting the top of the dugout, and that's the only fight he and I ever had, and we're still in touch to this day. It is the only fight we ever had is when he did that. Players who get hurt during celebrations we had our Rookie of the Year get hurt. I can't remember his name. Chris Coughlin. He got hurt in a celebration. I had bad words with Juan Pierre, who I love, JP, and again, still in touch with him because he did that thing where he would dunk and get involved in post-game. D. Gordon used to do that, and I would be annoyed. These players, I love that they want to celebrate, but I can't stand injuries because you're paying players not to play in that case.
All right, Nothing Personal. Check it out every day wherever you get your podcasts. Of course, here on the Dan Le Batard Show Network and the DraftKings Network. David, we appreciate it 2 times this week, man. Thank you. We appreciate your time, buddy.
Have a great day.
Okay, see you, Dave. Feel better. Stop coughing.
Thank you, David.
Take care.
It is time for Stugotz to share his game notes. No one in the media will tell you what happened better than my boy Stu.
Weekend observations on a Wednesday. Brought to you by Miller Lite. Great taste, 96 calories, available for delivery.
What are you eating?
Granola. Thanks. I was hungry. Dangerous game. What are you looking at?
Maybe a swig of water? You want us to fill a little bit for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. What are you looking at?
Me?
Yes.
I'm just you. I just don't like. You've gotten caught with granola so many times. I don't understand why you keep doing
I
it.
don't know.
Sounds better instantly after the water.
I don't learn my lesson.
Yeah, it seems that way.
Dan! Still stuck. We haven't seen him on the field in over a year. But he's always somewhere, and he's always an injury away. Yesterday, or Sunday, it happened. Jimmy G did what Jimmy G does. He got injured. And Dan, just like that, make no mistake about it, Brian Hoyer is back.
No,
Miss him?
No, he's not.
He is. He's starting. What do you mean?
Where?
Las Vegas. Jimmy G got hurt. You're not listening.
I don't know why I was thinking Jimmy Graham.
What?
I don't know.
He's a tight end.
I know. I
He
don't
also
know why I
still
was-
plays. He's with the Saints right now.
He does?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get outta here.
Yeah, he had there was a mental health issue in the office.
Not a great start playing the Dan character, but you'll get there.
No, but he brought up mental health, so that helps.
Dan, you know what the T in Tez Walker stands for? It stands for the U is not back. You can't spell frauds without the U.
I would argue that I'm sitting in Stugotz's seat, and I did a great job there
That's
in
true.
this seat.
That's true.
You did. Michael Penix Jr., congratulations on winning the Heisman. Walking into Dick's Sporting Goods. Dangerous game. Brian Hoyer lives one injury away. Death, taxes, and can you win a Super Bowl with Dak Prescott? I love a good Dick's. It's a dangerous game, though. Spend a ton of money in that place.
I want to buy every Hydro Flask in the little entryway.
Right.
Oh,
I end up buying Big League Chew every time I'm there.
Right.
And I don't ever actually use it.
At the counter.
The
Yeah, at the counter.
candy.
They get you on the way
it's
out.
a great
They do.
candy selection.
Yeah.
Sunflower seeds.
Oddly, though, right? Like you're thinking you're walking into a sporting goods store, there's not going to be candy to make you fatter.
You probably spend 2 hours in that golf section.
I do. Trying out the gloves.
Little putting green. Yeah. I hate when there's a kid in there. Hey, this is for business here. This is not for you to play while your mom shops. Okay, you're whacking the ball all over the place. This is for me to practice and learn if I want to get this putter.
That's right. You never get it, though.
Never.
They're expensive. Putters.
I like to try a lefty one too.
Why?
Yeah, just get a little fun.
So you play
and then the
there.
kid's like, "Hey, this is for serious business."
Exactly.
And I'm like, "You don't know I'm not a lefty."
I'm going to start calling you lefty. Chris has played a full round at Dick's.
That's where I bought my golf clubs.
You never use them.
I used them a couple times.
You use them as a prop.
I don't.
When
have,
we have like a big golfer on the show, on the shows that we do separate from this one, you put the golf clubs in the back so they can see it and so they think you're some sort of golfer.
falsehoods.
What do you
No.
mean?
I have golf clubs and I don't have room for them, so I have them stored in the background next to the couch because I don't have a place for them.
That's
Not to
smart.
impress golfers. What do I care?
You don't. You're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Max Homa, I need him to be my friend. What do I care?
But you put them there when home is on
homie.
every time.
They don't move. I don't put them there. It's not like I set up the. Just continue whatever you're doing.
Okay. If you ever find yourself wondering where Brian Hoyer is, look for Josh McDaniels. Hoyer won't be far behind. Dan, you know what the D in Dak stands for? Death, taxes, and can Dak Prescott win the Super Bowl? I'd said something was off in Athens. They've won 24 consecutive games. Kyle McCord, do it against Michigan. The C in Colorado stands for choked. The L in Lucy Rodine stands for left early. I'm proud of you.
thank you.
Don't apologize
Call
to anyone
me
for that.
Stugotz now.
Just so we're all on the same page before the NBA season starts, if Chris Paul wins a championship with the Golden State Warriors, it will not count as a championship in my personal record book. Speaking of my personal record book, I have reached a deal with a major publishing company. I'm writing a book.
Did you get an advance?
I did.
Well, you need to deliver, though.
A book.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's not just they give you an advance and that's that.
I'm getting to it.
When is this coming out?
I don't know yet.
Have you written anything?
Couple chapters. I might change the title to I wrote a book before Dan did. Alabama, Survive and Advance. In honor of Billy Gill being at jury duty this week, top 5 people in sports who can own a courtroom.
Ooh.
This is good. Number 5, Johnny Bench. Number 4, Lawyer Malloy.
Great list so far.
Thank you. Number 3, David Justice. Number 2, Aaron Judge.
There's better than that?
Impossible.
There is, and I think he's going to miss it.
Well, what's your guess?
No, I'm not telling you. No, not Ty Law.
It's not Ty Law.
Who's number 1?
D.A. Points.
That's pretty good.
Ben
Thank
Jarvis Green Ellis, the law firm.
Oh, man.
You guys, it was right there.
Damn.
Yeah.
2 Patriots.
I had Courtney Vandersloot.
Oh, that's pretty good. D.A. Points, though.
That's good. That's good.
Do you know who D.A. Points is? Does anyone know who D.A. Points is? He's a golfer.
Next time he's on Stupidity, I'll put my golf clubs behind me.
Here come the Maple Leafs. You know hockey started?
It's the shortest off season ever.
I know. Chris Fowler, talking about Michael Penix Jr., said lefty quarterbacks just look better. He must have never seen Pat White. 15-6 is so Iowa, Wisconsin. Sorry about that. Granola bar.
It happens. They choke a lot too.
Thank you. Brock Purdy, blah, blah, blah. You know what the B in Brock Purdy stands for, Billy?
Blah.
Blah, blah. Devontae Smith, stop crying. You know what the S in Smith stands for, Billy?
Stop crying.
Very good. You're on your game. Tez Walker, Sundays, collision course. 8 days ago, I had no idea who Tez Walker was. Washington didn't win. Dan Lanning lost. Michigan, I have an idea. Play somebody. Anybody. Just play somebody.
I'm being told we have a picture of D.A. Points. Let's take a look at this guy. Yeah, there he is.
Yep.
Ooh.
All right.
The DA.
Back to you.
Nice bangs.
It's worth keeping an eye on James Madison. The Dukes. Lucy, they're pretty good, right?
The NCAA won't let them compete in the postseason, though.
Right. Ever.
Pretty much ever.
Welcome to my world.
Well, till next year. But it feels like forever because they should have played last year too.
UCLA, you are not alone. Very few teams walk into Corvallis and come out alive. Seahawks, 4 trips in the red zone in the second half and only 3 points. You know what the B in Cincinnati Bengals stands for? It stands for bend, but don't break. Philadelphia Eagles, that had to hurt. It felt like I was watching Ryan Tannehill limp off the field for the final time. You see that?
No.
Tannehill? Felt bad for him.
I can't believe that he's still in the league.
That does feel like it might be it, right? Like if Malik Willis is just their guy, or rather they're terrible and then drafted the next guy.
I think if Tannehill is your backup, you have a good quarterback situation.
It just feels
Sure.
like the Dolphins
Right?
gave up on him so long ago, and he's still doing it.
He just has to realize the perfect world that is being a backup quarterback. He could be the best, like to Stu's point, he could be the best in the league.
Learn
as a
from his
backup.
backup quarterbacks. Chad Henne, learn from Matt Moore. They got to live the life.
Chad Henne probably hated the first 4 years of his career when he was playing. And then he went to be a backup. He's like, this
Right.
is sweet.
Yeah.
This is awesome. Same amount of money, no stress. Slightly less money, but
Well, he had the one
still a
big
lot.
drive last year for Kansas City in the playoffs, 98 yards.
Yeah.
Mahomes went out.
That was selfish of Patrick Mahomes. We've done this.
So we could say Chad Henne went out on top.
He did.
Yes.
Good for him.
He won a Super Bowl.
Right.
I was when the
That
Dolphins
was a part of it, Billy. Like a major part of it.
he
had
was
that
the
big drive.
Dolphins quarterback that got me. He's the one we drafted him. I'm like, he's the one.
Did he have a better career than Tannehill?
That's a good question.
Tannehill never played in the playoffs for the Dolphins. He got hurt. Matt Moore played that game.
Tannehill's been to a couple of AFC championship games as a starter, right?
Couple?
Maybe one,
Was it
at
one
least one.
with the Titans? But that's Derrick Henry's AFC title game, not Ryan Tannehill's.
It's fair.
Chad Henne, 2 Super Bowls.
Really?
Yeah. Super Bowl winning quarterback, Chad Henne.
All right.
2-time. Greatest Dolphin quarterback ever. More than Marino.
He didn't do it for the Dolphins though.
No, greatest Dolphins quarterback ever. He was on the Dolphins.
He's in the top 5.
I think you have to win it with the Dolphins to be in the Dolphin category.
Why?
I would say Tua is already ahead. I think Tua is the second best quarterback in Dolphins history.
100%.
Sorry,
Behind
sorry,
who?
I
Greasy.
agree with you.
No, Greasy right now is number 2 behind Marino.
But he won a title.
Who?
Greasy.
I know. You're saying he's better than Marino?
Who?
Okay, I'm getting confused.
Henne.
What's happening here? Dolphins quarterbacks all time. Marino, Greasy. I am putting Tua third already.
I'm putting him second. Number 2.
I think this is down to Chad Henne and Bob Greasy. They each have 2.
You're the worst.
I'm just
Chad Henne didn't win with the Dolphins.
yeah, well, neither did Dan Marino, and you have him as the best ever. So
What do we do with Jay Cutler?
that's a great question.
All right, moving on.
I don't want to move on.
Jay Cutler has one of the greatest plays in Dolphin history, which is when he was lined up in a wildcat out as a receiver and he didn't even move. One of my favorite plays ever.
Where is Jay Fiedler in this conversation?
Ahead of Chad Henne.
Impossible. Chad Henne's a two-time Super Bowl winning quarterback. How? That's impossible.
Where is David Woodley in this conversation? He took him to a Super Bowl.
He's not.
Where do we stand on Jay Cutler presently? Because I wasn't sure on that one. Like, I wanted to get a Jay Cutler Dolphins jersey once Very Cavallari started, and then I think he fell out of favor with the general public, and I thought maybe I shouldn't get one.
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay. Well, it was hard to find anyway, so even if I wanted to, I couldn't.
We still have 4 pages left on game notes.
Well, we're getting down to best Dolphins quarterback ever.
This is big. We've never done this before.
I'm down to do kickers next. It's Olindo Mari or bust. There's no one after Olindo
Get
Mari,
out of
right?
here.
Pete Stoyanovich would like a word.
Dan
Yes.
Carpenter?
Dan Carpenter, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's Olindo Mari. He was in a Lunchables ad. Okay?
Linda Mare
Thank
had a
you very
cool
much.
name, but wasn't very good.
What?
Overrated, I'd say.
Oh, shush. I was going to say shut your mouth, and then I said shush, and it turned into shush.
Hear people saying that Bill Belichick has lost his touch. He hasn't lost his touch. He lost his quarterback. I spent 7:30 to 10:30 p.m. Eastern on Sunday night wondering how we beat the Eagles and how we lost to the Patriots at home. 49ers, Browns.
You have good wins.
We
You beat
do.
the Bills also.
We had bad losses, though.
You almost beat the Chiefs.
I know. But we lost to the Patriots. 49ers, Browns, Jets, Eagles, any given Sunday. It's the one text I got from Smetty over the weekend. Made me smile, though. 49ers, Browns, Jets, Eagles. That's why they play the games. Derrick Rose is a Grizzly. Do you know that, Tony?
I did not.
Grizzled vet.
Hey-o.
He didn't play for the Knicks at all, right? Like, he just wore a jersey and just sat there on the bench the entire season.
Yes,
I also
Chad
texted
Henne.
you, Stu, and said 72 Dolphins champagne.
that's
was
right.
Of course.
You did.
Guess it didn't make the cut.
It didn't. I put it down. I send them to Chris, and he decides what goes in and goes out.
Wait, you're blaming that
Yeah.
on me? I did not make any cuts.
Welcome to the club.
Do you think Jimbo Fisher has looked at the Texas A&M athletic director and said, "Go ahead, buy me out. I dare you"? Yes?
Probably not in those exact words,
No.
but just with his
those
performance.
exact words.
He said that with his performance.
With a wink. Notre Dame, hell of a bounce back. Speaking of hell, Art Briles. Dan, those are the weekend observations. How are we feeling? We have a big game this Sunday. How are you guys feeling? Dolphins, Eagles, big game. Very excited. I know Chris is excited for this, but this is a big game, and I'm tired of Philadelphia fans.
Is this a see where you're at game?
Ooh.
Now after the Eagles lose to the Jets,
Right.
I don't think it's a see where you're at game. I think it's a measuring stick game.
Well, is that not
Really?
okay? I feel like those are pretty similar.
No,
I
measuring stick
feel like
game
I
is-
just said it differently.
Measuring stick game is bigger than a see where you're at game. See where you're at game is like maybe somebody that is in your division. Maybe like a Buffalo is a see where you're at game.
Wouldn't a measuring stick help you see where you're at?
Yeah, but a measuring
It
stick
seems
is
like
against
you
another
guys-
conference, though.
You know, we're in the semantics here, but
Yeah.
I see what Tony's saying.
Right.
I do.
Guys, I'd like to play a game with you guys if you want to play along. While you have this conversation, I'm checked out, and I'm going to tell you why. It's because I'm on ESPN.com, and they have this fun little thing where you can see how quickly every quarterback earns Brock Purdy's salary for the year.
Let's play it. Yep.
Wait, send that to me. That looks
Who
so
does
fun.
on the
Yeah.
homepage? It's the strangest thing. So you go down and it's like the second thing on the homepage on ESPN.com, and I swear to God, it's quick. It's clickbait. It just says, "How quickly does Tua Tagovailoa earn Brock Purdy's $870,000?"
How fast?
Well, he's not even the top. You have to go all the way down to find him.
I
But it's
got a
just
random
like
one.
Tua. We have to put Tua in here somehow.
Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins.
Tell
okay.
me, how long does it take him to make?
Let's guess, though. I mean,
He's one of the highest paid guys, right?
Do you want to know in minutes?
Yes.
Because that's how. So like they have the people that are in less than one game, and that's not where Kirk Cousins is. I don't think.
wait, Billy. So what is Purdy's salary?
$870,000. It is tied for the lowest with Sam Howell. Just so that you guys know.
Woof, Daniel Jones.
I know. So bad.
Wait, are you guys playing? Or
Yeah,
you
we're
were-
playing over
That was
here.
on the
She
heels
pulled it
of
up.
one good playoff game.
Well, then we can't
Right?
play the game if you have the answers. Jeez Louise. Kirk Cousins, it takes.
I would say it takes Cousins a game and a half to earn $875,000.
It takes him 30 minutes to match Brock Purdy's salary for the year. He makes $30 million a year.
So
30
half a game essentially.
Yeah, 2 quarters, 30 minutes.
Decent gig.
That's not a bad one if you could get
It's a
it.
great gig. What do you
Should
mean?
Purdy hold out?
Yes.
No,
I should
Just
be an
stop
NFL
showing up.
quarterback.
he will get replaced by
who?
someone else.
Who do they got on the roster right now?
They'll find someone else.
I'm just saying.
They have Sam Darnold.
We talked to Chris Sims, who's basically said, like, Brock Purdy's good because he does exactly what Shanahan wants him to do. And once he starts getting cute and trying to make it about him, he'll just replace him with someone else that can do exactly what he wants him to do.
It's what he does.
It's crazy.
But how about he wins a Super Bowl?
Sims also told us Tua wasn't that good too, right?
That's, he has lots of
we
misses.
trust
He
this
also
guy?
told
Gonna
us
be
Zach
100%.
Wilson was good.
I mean,
100%. He had lots of misses.
What are we doing to
Why are we
Sims?
talking
He's
to
our
that guy?
guy.
What has he gotten right exactly?
His hit rate isn't exactly very high.
Blake Bortles. You got that right.
For
What-
like 3 seasons.
I still disagree.
What did he get right about that?
I don't know. He said he was bad.
So did everyone's eyes.
He went to an AFC Championship game. Bortles.
Justice for Blake Bortles.
Yeah.
It's his offensive line's fault.
Has Sims
Go
been
next.
right about anything?
I don't think ever.
Jeremy.
At some point over the next few minutes, I would like to just celebrate Mike McDaniel.
Okay.
We have like a 45-second clip of him just being Mike McDaniel on the sideline. Can we hit that, fellas?
Frank Sterico, good to see you. Jim Mello, Coach McDaniel. How are
Awesome,
you?
guys.
Yeah.
Those are nice, strong handshakes with eye contact. I appreciate that. Thank you for showing me the respect and regard. I'll do the same. Dude, I almost wore that vest today.
I wasn't in position to work.
Whoa.
Like,
Whoa. Are we trying to have personal accountability right now? I love it.
no, I wasn't in position
Yeah.
because we had
It's all
pinched
good.
because of the
Yeah,
spot. And
100%.
That's why I kind of held it and didn't let him go too quick.
Got it.
So, no subs. Just
Hey.
so you know why we're getting it.
Hey, that's why you guys are great.
I mean, running off the field with fins up.
Yeah.
I just love that guy. I mean, there's part of me, the cynic in me wants to be like, you all right over there?
I'm good. Don't
What
worry
happened,
about
Billy?
me.
The cynic in me wants to
break your
say
foot?
he knows he's mic'd up,
Right.
so he's playing up to the camera. Kind of like I felt about Aaron Rodgers on Hard Knocks. It's like I want to like this guy, but I feel like he's playing it up for the camera. But it's just, I love my coach, and I love him.
Technically, he's always mic'd up.
This
Huh?
guy.
Jesus Christ.
That chair's
Hit it, Billy.
changed. This show has changed you, and I love
Yeah.
it. I love when Jeremy does that.
Big swings. I mean,
But seriously, though, am I the only like Tony?
No,
Billy.
th-
Tell me,
Billy.
do you love Mike McDaniel?
look, there's parts of Mike McDaniel that are cool. I just don't know if he's cool. Right? Like, there's things that he does.
He's comfortable with himself,
I'm
man.
like, There's something there.
What shoes was he wearing this
He was
weekend?
wearing
that
off-white
had,
Air Force Ones.
that had a tag on them still.
Well, the tag is whole motif with the Air Force Ones of off-whites, where Virgil had the tag, and you keep the tag. Rest in peace, Virgil, by the way.
I've been given some really interesting information in my headphones from a certain producer in the other room that says Tony and his brother are Patriots fans and that I should call him out for that. So,
What?
Tony,
He has said-
your
No,
response,
sir?
sir?
He has said that
Thanks
before.
for listening to the show, Jeremy.
But you are not acting as though
No, I'm
you're
a Shield fan.
Oh, enough of that.
What does that mean?
Okay, Mike Ryan.
He likes
Fan
every
of the
team.
Shield. I
He
like
just
it-
loves
like every
football
You're not a
so
fan
much.
of a team?
No.
Well, he
Tony,
can't-
stop it.
The thing is that he's too cool to be hurt by anything in the world.
not true.
So like he can't be a Jaguars
I'm hurt by a
fan.
lot of things.
What
Oh,
hurts you?
please.
Billy.
When did you
constantly.
feel your lowest point?
Do you really want me to answer
Was this
that or
South Beach
no?
Sessions?
We are all here
don't
for this.
answer
No,
that.
no, no, no.
You don't
We're
want me
all
to-
here for
You
Tony.
don't want me to answer
No,
really,
don't
or
answer
you really
that.
want me to answer?
Don't answer that.
Okay.
Answer.
No. You got-
You don't want
What
me to answer.
Jalen hurts you?
Wow.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm a big
Jeremy, it's
Jalen
not
Hurts fan.
funny.
That's what hurts me. When
Billy!
Jalen Hurts those picks.
Where do you stand on the Jaguars officially?
I like the Jaguars. They're frisky.
He's a fan of the Shield.
They're frisky.
Yeah, they're frisky this year.
I thought you were out on them.
No, I was never out. Again, fake news from the the media.
Right.
Not true.
Boy, you're not doing yourself any favors.
But Tony, are you a Pats fan? Have you ever been a Pats fan?
Yes, I
He's
was.
a Patriots
I grew up
fan.
a Patriots fan.
Oh, okay.
'Cause
Why?
as
Wait,
a
is this
kid-
the South Beach Sessions? Let's just
So
do one
Tom
of these.
Brady left, and then you left? I mean,
Yeah.
okay. Thank you for the honesty.
Yeah, I was 9 years old, 10 years old. I saw. Oh, all day out.
Were you a Bucks fan too?
No.
No.
At that point, I was just like hoping Tom did a good job.
You were a
which he
Shield
did.
fan
I was a fan of
at
the
that
Shield
point,
at that point.
yeah.
Yeah, I was already a fan of the Shield. But as a younger kid, my first viewing experience of the NFL was Brady going to that Super Bowl, beating the greatest show on turf, and I was like, wow, these guys are really good.
He was not the greatest show on turf.
Beating the greatest show
beating,
on turf.
got you.
Right, with that Vinatieri kick.
Yeah.
And I became a Patriots fan at like 10 years old, and unfortunately they won, 5 or 6 Super Bowls or whatever it was, and I had to bear the brunt of that in Miami.
And how did Spygate affect you?
Didn't.
Really?
Yeah, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, you know that.
Wow. So Deflategate also not an issue.
Not a problem.
Oh.
Aaron Hernandez bothered me a little bit. I felt bad about
A
it.
little bit.
Yeah, I felt
What
bad
bothered
about
you about it?
For everybody involved.
What could he have done to bother you more than a little bit?
Well, it wasn't him that bothered me. It was the situation, I was sad about it in multiple ways. Clearly.
Sad for who?
For the person who was murdered, one.
Yeah.
2.
But most importantly, the Patriots.
No, not the
Seems like
Patriots.
you were-
More of like I was
His
sad.
fantasy team.
No,
His-
I didn't have him that year. I didn't have him that year. No, I felt bad for Aaron Hernandez. He threw his life away,
Yeah.
and it made me sad. And then obviously what happened,
But you felt bad for the people,
everybody
the
involved.
victims.
Yeah, of course. That's why I said him first.
Most importantly.
Most importantly, the person that was killed and the
Okay.
family.
Yes. Okay. Very good.
Put us there when Tom Brady left.
I knew it was coming. After that pick six against the Titans, I was like, okay, this is probably it. Yeah.
But it wasn't it.
It was it.
But it wasn't.
He went.
it.
Then he went to Tampa Bay, and that was kind of it. The dog wants to go out. So you want me to get to my lowest point or not?
The dog?
No.
Yeah, Willow. Willow was in here scratching the door. I don't know if you heard it. Just had to get up to let her out.
I do want your lowest point.
No, you don't. You don't want his lowest point. You don't know him very well, obviously.
Back to you, Stu.
Second lowest point.
No,
I'm
that's
enjo-
a good question. Chris.
I'm enjoying this.
Chris,
Top 5 lowest points.
What's wrong with
Without
you?
number 1.
I'd have
Number
to-
4.
Yes.
Number 4.
Well, what happened to 5? Oh, we're going
Go
out of
5,
order.
4, 3,
I don't know why I
2,
skipped
and
5.
just leave one a mystery. Yes.
Do 4, 3, 2, and then 5.
4.
Did you
give
feel
us
bad
4.
when OJ threw his life away, or?
I saw OJ one time at a restaurant.
Yeah.
Big guy. If you've never
No,
seen
this
OJ in
is-
person,
This
not
is
number
another
5?
thing.
Different.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, different.
OJ's huge in person. I don't know if you've ever seen him in person, but he was sitting at a local Italian spot next to my house because he used to live like maybe 3 or 4 minutes from my parents' house, and he had his arms. He was laying back on one of those stools,
Right.
laying on the bar, and he had his hands over the entire bar,
Yeah.
which spread like 8 feet. He had his arms over the entire thing. And I was like maybe 15, 16 years old, and we were getting a pizza. My mom was like, hey, get out, get the pizza, come back in. And I was like, all right, cool. I turn the corner, and I see Juice, and I'm like, oh, shit, it's Juice. So as I'm walking by,
Number 3!
Yeah, we didn't even get to 5 yet.
we didn't.
We know
Anyways,
what for.
I walked by and I said, hey, Juice, can I get through? And he's like, yeah, buddy, for sure. And kind of pat on my back and
Wow.
then ordered pizza.
Jeez.
Classic OJ.
Yeah, it is classic.
All right, number 5.
Number 5 when you said, "What do I do here?"
Yeah, that was nice.
That was
Number
a bad-
four.
yeah,
Number
that was a
4.
bad one. Yeah.
I'm still wondering, but it wasn't nice to say out loud. Sometimes you just think things.
He's carrying us right now.
Number 4.
Number 4 is when you said in a meeting, "What do you do here?"
Yeah.
Which also didn't help.
Front of Skipper.
Yeah, Skipper
Number
was there
3.
too. Yeah.
Number 3.
Number three was we were having a certain meeting about a certain something that I don't want to reveal, and you also said, "Why are you gonna go?"
Yeah. Number 2. Number 2.
I can't tell you.
Oh.
Why are you gonna go?